How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL video. And today, I picked the wrong shirt because it looks like I'm going like the green screen's coming through me on this side. You can see it's a little bit on the fuzzy side, but that's the nature of a green screen. But we are back with another FPL video, and this one is kind of important because it's differential players for the double game week 19. Players that may be injury prone, or maybe players that people were potentially getting rid of, or players that maybe people just didn't fancy or didn't even think of going into this double game week, especially with some fixture changes and that sort of stuff. That opens up other options. So like people are looking to get rid of their Leeds assets because the Leeds versus Southampton fixtures is being moved, although it still could potentially be in a double game week down the line, but unlikely to happen. Whereas the Aston Villa fixture, versus Everton, that could be moved out of it, but they could also get their the game that they missed versus Newcastle in the double game week. We'll have to see on that one. But these are players that people may not necessarily have thought of, or may have been out of the fray for a long time, whether it be due to injury or just not good form, or maybe their team isn't in form at all. But if you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And make sure to drop us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch. It's PilotFlame226 on those platforms. If you follow us on Twitter, you can get all the updates as well as my lineup news when it comes out, and I put it out before the deadline so you can see what my final team is going into any given game week, as well as any changes or any new videos that may be coming out, or our list of videos that may be coming out for the week. And Twitch is where we will be doing our next live stream, and where we do all of our live streams for FPL. We will be doing one tomorrow at the time of recording. It's going to be the 14th of January. That's going to be on the Thursday. That's going to be our preview stream. We're going to take a look at how game week 18 went, and we're going to look ahead to game week 19 and what I potentially am going to be doing for my transfers. And then we'll also be doing a deadline stream for double game week 19. We're going to be up an hour before, so I think that's 5 a.m. EST. But make sure to check the pinned comment down below to see exactly when that time is. So without further ado, let's see what 4 differential picks I have lined up for double game week 19. So as you saw on our thumbnail, the first player we have on the list is Antonio, somebody who hasn't been fit for large portions of the season, but when he has been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, he's had a very bad injury record with his hamstrings. He is over 30 now. I think he's either 30 or 31. He's in around that age. So age isn't necessarily on his side, but on his day can be an absolute beast. And when he played versus, I think it was Norwich last season, scored 4 goals, I think in 20-something minutes or something crazy like that. So can be a crazy good FPL asset, and is kind of the talisman of West Ham when he gets fully going. He scored 3 goals this season. He's got 30 points, but hasn't played too many games. He only recently played his full 90 for I think it's been the past month or two, because of this injury that he's been having on and off over the past several weeks, and that was in the FA Cup versus a non-Premier League side. But I think he may have, worn off that injury, at least for the time being. I think he's set to go for this Burnley at home fixture specifically. And if he can get through that, maybe 70 minutes he gets taken off, you can probably suspect him to start again going into the West Brom game, which is on a Tuesday. So it's going to be quite quick turnaround Saturday, Tuesday. But he did have the full week off, basically, in terms of, not playing any matches from the FA Cup game, because their FA Cup game was on Monday and their first game is on Saturday. So they basically get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so 4 days, quite a big size rest. And also, they don't really have anyone they can play up front. They sold Sebastian Haller to Ajax for a record fee, and Antonio is the guy. He is the one that's going to run in the channels. He's the one that's going to graft. And against the likes of Burnley, he's going to have to bully their center backs. Against West Brom, he's going to have to bully their center backs. And I don't see anyone else potentially playing up front that's going to do well versus, burly center backs. He's got all the strength. He's got all the muscle. And his aerial prowess is nothing to be kind of shied away from. He is very good in the air as well. And it's one of his best attributes is holding up the ball. And against the likes of Tarkowski and me, and Ivanovic playing for West Brom, he's going to have to be able to be big, strong, hold up the ball, and make those runs into the channels and spin around those kind of big burly defenders. And I think that if he gets 70 minutes per game, I'm definitely looking to bring him in. I think it's a no question, no brainer here, especially with Leeds versus Southampton being called off and being moved. He's an easy switch to from Rodrigo. You want to keep Bamford as kind of, because you maybe have value like myself tied up in him. I think I have 0.3 million I can sell Bamford for extra than what I bought him at. Antonio's definitely the guy to bring in for like Rodrigo, or cheaper for maybe like Che Adams, who also doesn't have a double game week now because of the fixture being postponed. Antonio's the easy switch there because he's similar price bracket, and 6.2 million just seems like an absolute steal. So make sure to look out for Antonio. I'm going to certainly be bringing him in, assuming he passes the fitness test from the press conferences. So make sure to look out for Antonio. Make sure to check him out to see if you can bring him into your teams. Now, let's take a look at another forward that may be raising some eyebrows, as he might be 2 guaranteed starts when he didn't necessarily have those starts locked down going into this double game week. And the other forward that I was referring to is Edinson Cavani. He's currently 7.8 million, which is actually cheaper than Calvert-Lewin, even though he's risen up in price quite a lot. He's got 3 goals, 2 assists, so quite productive from when he has played. And he versus Liverpool away and Fulham away. Now, Cavani definitely has the experience in these sorts of, games that kind of can potentially decide the title even, because as it stands now, United are 3 points clear of Liverpool. Same number of games. There's no games in hand, none of that. United are 3 points clear, so if they get a draw or a win, they will stay ahead of Liverpool and will be top of the pack after that game. But the main reason why I think that Cavani could start both games is because Martial limped off after the Burnley game and was basically holding his groin. Now that could potentially be something that keeps him out of both games. Liverpool, play on Sunday after playing Burnley on Tuesday. You typically give those sorts of things a week or so to kind of heal up, and then the Fulham game is midweek next week, so you're looking at maybe like 10 days tops. I don't know if that's enough for that injury to heal. Maybe it could have been something that's just kind of like a one-off, but I think Cavani is definitely favored by Solskjaer. His movement is exceptional. Once the players like kind of get his movement involved into the game in terms of when to pass and that sort of stuff, like Ferguson used to say about Robin van Persie when he was the striker for Manchester United, he said that you have to follow his movement, not the other way around. And that's basically how it's going to have to work. So Bruno and Pogba and these sorts of creative players are going to have to work around Cavani's movement because it is excellent. He does make a lot of runs off the ball. He was even tracking all the way to left back and right backs at times when players were out of position in transition to make sure that we got the 3 points. No bias there because I am a United fan, but to get the 3 points versus Burnley, which was a very tough game. And he's someone who's going to hold up the ball. He's someone who's going to be good in the air. And his movement is going to cause problems for Liverpool's defense, which is a bit ropey at the moment. Fulham had conceded goals earlier on in the season, although they've shifted to this new back 3 system with different personnel, and they've done quite well. But I think Cavani's elite movement could potentially cause problems for them. 7.8 million could look like a bargain if it's 2 guaranteed starts. And the last 2 Premier League games, which he has been available for, he's played 90 minutes in both of them. So I think that Cavani, assuming he stays fit, again, someone who has had injury problems in the past, could be quite valuable and a very big differential pick in this double game week. Now, another player who's very talismanic in the way that kind of Antonio works for West Ham, making runs in behind, running at players, and causing all sorts of problems, is someone we've actually kind of forgotten about, and that's been Christian Pulisic. He is an 8.2 million midfielder. He's got a goal and an assist this season, 28 points, but hasn't really played a whole lot of games. In recent, though, he has done. In the last 5 games that he's played 90 minutes in 4 of them and 83 minutes in the other game, being subbed off extremely late on in the game. So clearly, he is the guy for Lampard's Chelsea. They are up against Fulham and Leicester, 2 teams that he's going to be able to run at and cause all sorts of problems. James Justin, who's been doing quite well for Leicester, is a relatively inexperienced fullback and does like to get high up the pitch and can potentially be caught out in some cases. Same with Castagna, depending on what side Pulisic is on. Definitely able to get the better of those two. His like pace and directness can cause problems to any sort of team. And he's super explosive at that. Although, just like Antonio, he is very injury prone in that way because he basically uses his body kind of like just a bullet or kind of like a bobsled in a sense. It just goes. There's no real stopping it. The only way you stop it is if it crashes into things or something bombards its path and makes it fall over and tumble over and that sort of stuff, which is why they potentially get injured, because they do make a lot of runs, a lot of sprints per 90, and Pulisic is definitely no exception to that rule. With Pulisic, though, I think you have to also consider the team he's playing for. Chelsea have been in a bit of a bad rut recently, not doing too well overall, having some disappointing losses in the last 5 games, and maybe the Leicester game is going to be a bit tricky for them. They should win versus Fulham, but again, London derby. Scott Parker used to play for the team, who now manages Fulham, and could be a bit of a rivalry there, and could be a bit of a tough game. I do think Pulisic, though, is going to see significant minutes in both of these games and probably start, and I think he's going to be definitely quite good. He's very versatile, can play on the left, play on the right, can play as like a shadow striker, can play as the false 9, he can do a bunch of different roles, but I think that Pulisic is somebody on Chelsea's team that could be being undervalued here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up with a goal or an assist in at least one of these 2 games for this Game Week 19. Now, let's take a look at the last player that I have on the list. It may seem quite obvious, but it was a player that people were bringing in for a couple of games before the week, and then potentially were getting rid of for the double game week. Now, the last player that I was mentioning previously is Nick Pope. This is somebody who had really good fixtures for the first couple of game weeks, before the big game week that everyone's looking at, Game Week 19, Double Game Week 19. He had Fulham, which ended up being postponed. And then he also had Sheffield United, which he kept a clean sheet in as well. So maybe some people were thinking, maybe some people like myself got rid of him before the for the Fulham game because he wasn't gonna play. I got rid of him afterwards, and I had Johnston come off my bench for the game that he didn't play. But I was going to get rid of him, and I was bringing in Martinez because I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll future-proof myself, because Martinez is going to have a couple of fixtures. He needs to play extra, and he's going to be somebody who's quite good at making saves and all that sort of stuff, and he's slightly cheaper, and maybe save a little bit of money there. Unfortunately, Martinez might not even have a double game week, although there is, rumors that potentially if their fixture is, called off with Everton, they will get their Newcastle one put into their somewhere in that double game week. So we'll have to still see on that. But Nick Pope, West Ham away, Liverpool away. Doesn't seem like the 2 greatest fixtures on paper. However, in their last games, all the way up until after basically Man City, so game week 11 onwards, if they have conceded, they've only conceded 1 goal. And Nick Pope's up there in the number of saves this season, getting quite a lot with 57. It says assists on the graphic, but we won't mind that. It's basically the number of saves. If he had 57 assists, that would be crazy. And he doesn't have 6 goals, he has 6 clean sheets. That's what it would be. Forgot to change the graphic. We'll make sure to change that for next time. But he's only conceded 1 goal per game if they were to concede since their 5-0 drumming in Man City. And fun fact on that one, didn't even play in that game, so you can't even fault him for that. Versus Man United, Burnley were definitely back to their defensive best. They conceded 1 goal versus Paul Pogba's shot, which, had it not deflected and gone literally perfectly through Pope's legs because of that slight deflection, he would have saved it comfortably. He would have taken it in and been quite okay with that shot. The rest of the United shots that were on target were pretty tame, to be perfectly honest. And he's going up against West Ham and Liverpool, who, away from home, you would think that's probably not the greatest. But Liverpool been struggling for goals recently, didn't score any against Southampton, only got 1 versus West Brom. And West Ham had to get a very, very late winner versus, I think it was Brighton. I think it was Souček who ended up getting that one. And it's just one of those ones where they might not score any goals, and he could definitely be in the bonus points if he keeps a clean sheet and gets some save points, because Burnley only score 1, maybe 2 goals at most. And if that's the case, then Pope is typically up there on saves, and he's going to get a clean sheet as well. And I think that if you're looking for a goalkeeper, Pope may be your man, and he could get in some of the much desired points for this double game week. And that's going to do it for our 4 differential players for Double Game Week 19. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is greatly appreciated. It's free to do. Go do it right now. Just hit the subscribe button. It's just down below. It's very easy to do. Takes you not even a second to do. Helps out the channel, which helps out you at the end of the day. And make sure to give us a follow as well over on Twitter and Twitch so that you can get even more content. Twitter is where we'll give you updates, lineup announcements, all that sort of stuff, videos when they're going out as well, and when we go live on Twitch, which our next FPL stream will be on the 14th of January. That's going to be at 7 p.m. EST. So we'll have all the fixtures completed for Blank Game Week 18, and we'll be discussing how my team did, as well as make sure to come bring your questions for Double Game Week 19 as well. And we'll keep it interactive in the chat as we usually do. And I usually post the VOD up on YouTube afterwards. So if you do watch our videos regularly, make sure to come check us out over on the live stream. It's good to have even more people there, more opinions, which means more food for thought, which means more potential points for all our FPL teams. So make sure to come check us out over there. Make sure to turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available as well. Forgot to mention that. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed it, and until the next one, take care.